reflection. Lately nothing's coming my way. Keep drowning every bit of my devotion, sinking deeper every day. And lately I am missing my reflection. And every muddy puddle on the pavement, driving every thought into distortion.
Hello everyone, it is Chinchilla Sims here again today, and we are building a mid-century style modern family home this time. This is probably my favorite house that I have ever built in The Sims 4. I'm not even kidding, I love this house so much, I want to live here. This house is actually inspired by a house that I saw when I was scrolling through Pinterest, and I'm just obsessed with this style of house. Not to mention, in The Sims 4, I really like to play on single story lots with my Sims, just because I think that it's a lot easier to manage them, and also, I don't know, there's just something about this style of home that's just really, really nice to me, and I want to live here. And yeah, so we are jumping right in building that, and you're gonna see me spend an obscene amount of time on the exterior of this build just because I wanted it to look perfect and I wanted the landscaping to be perfect, like exactly what I imagined it, and some of the stuff just wasn't really being possible, so I was kind of having to make do or use debug objects to make things work, and I was just very determined this time, so I ended up like cutting a ton of footage out. If I left all of the footage of me building the outside of this house in, we would probably be here for hours, even with it all sped up. I think that the footage for this house, once I put it into Premiere, total, like for the whole build, was like 10 hours, which is ridiculous because this is not a big house by any means. It's not a big mansion. It's a 3-bedroom house. It's super luxurious on the inside. It's very nice, but it's not really a big house, and there's no reason that it should have taken me that long except for the perfectionist in me was just, I became very invested in this build, and I wanted it to be exactly what I wanted it to be, so I think I was actually very successful at it, and I think it turns out looking pretty amazing, and I'm actually thinking about doing an LP with this house just because I love it so much. And I could see myself playing with a Sim family in here for like a really long time. But anyways, here you just see me starting on the landscaping of the house. So I had to get a little bit creative with this just because of the way that the foundation system is in The Sims 4. It's a little bit crazy. If I had left in all of the footage, you would have seen me constantly building tiny rooms off to the side of the build, and then increasing the foundation height on them, and then moving them back over here and changing the foundation color and putting in the rocks and the plants and everything. And it was just a super long process, and I'm pretty sure that took up probably the bulk of the amount of time that I spent on this build. So yeah, but I think that it turns out really good anyways, so no regrets. But right now I'm just making this little pit area that is going to be a basketball court, and I thought that was a really nice idea because I always forget about the basketball hoop in The Sims 4, and I never add it to really any of my builds, and I wanted to add it to this one. So on the house that I was inspired by, that area with where I'm going to add the basketball court is actually a garage area, but of course we don't have cars in The Sims 4, and normally I would just make it a fake garage and have like a fake driveway and everything and maybe put a debug car in there, but this time around I was like, I'm just gonna make it like a nice big window area, and you know, it's not going to have any garage functionality, which is completely fine because we don't have cars in the Sims 4, so what's even the point? But I understand that having the basketball hoop right there is a little bit bad, because in real life, if you had it like that, your child would probably end up launching a basketball right through the window and there would just be shattered glass everywhere. But that doesn't happen in The Sims, so it's okay. So that's why I just left it like that. I thought that it looked fine anyways. I'm going to increase the wall heights on the build here after a while, because I just think that I thought that it needed a little bit more height to it. Right there you see me trying to get the lights on the outside of the build perfect. I wanted it to have this, like, be very lit up on the outside and just have like a nice curb appeal even from nighttime. So that is why you see me going to all the different times of day, and I don't know, maybe it's not that important how the house looks from the outside at night, but I just wanted it to look really cute during any time of day. I kind of get obsessed with that in my builds. I constantly change the time of day in build mode just to make sure that the coloring and lighting and everything looks normal in all of the times of day. And there you just saw me raise up a subtle saucer light, because the way that the roofs are in The Sims 4, like if you place a light below them, it doesn't really reflect onto the actual roof part because it's considered like a different room. So it looks a little weird when you have like those wall lights that you see me have right there. So I added the subtle saucer lights to make it look like the wall lights were reflecting up onto the roof as well. And I just thought that was a nice little detail to add, and I think it really adds to the build from the outside and looks really cute. And I also went into live mode and changed the colors of all the lights to be a warmer yellow tone instead of the white tone that they normally come with, because I thought that it would look a lot more cozy and welcoming if it was just a warmer tint color. And yeah, so there you just saw me increase the wall height, and I think it looks a lot better and a lot more grand like this. And the basketball court fits in a lot better because now the wall is taller than the basketball hoop, and I think that that looks way better in my opinion. So yeah, I'm just adding more lights everywhere. I wanted this build to be very well lit, as I said before. And there you can see me add some more lighting to the basketball court area, just so that it's well lit at night, so whatever Sims live here can go outside at night and shoot around with the basketball if they want. And you just saw me pull up the gallery because I wanted to make sure that the house looks, I just think it's easier to tell if it's looking okay if you see a picture of it. So I always pull up the gallery just to see how the house is looking, how it would look if I saw it in the gallery. And I think that helps me with any changes that I might want to make. So here you see me working on the floor plan, and yeah, this house ends up having 3 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. There's 1 half bath and then 2 full baths. There is a Jack and Jill bathroom between the 2 kids' bedrooms, and then the parents' room has an ensuite, and then of course there is a powder room in the hallway. And I do end up adding laundry in here as well, in a very, very small room, but I just thought that it was a nice little detail to add and adds to the realism of the game, even though it's kind of annoying because I feel like your Sims just never do the laundry themselves, so there's just piles of dirty clothes sitting around everywhere. And unless if you do it or hire a maid, and then you know how the maids are, sometimes they don't do anything. They just like sit around and it gets really annoying. So I kind of wish that they were more autonomous with the way that they did laundry. It seems like they'll do anything on their own except laundry. So now we are working on the kitchen, and the kitchen and dining is all one area, and I'm obsessed with how it turns out. I absolutely love it. I think it is such a nice space for entertaining guests and also just hanging out. I would love to live here, honestly. Like, I think it is so pretty. I love the light woods and just all of the neutral colors combined with, you're gonna see me add pops of teal and orange in here, like very subtle pops of teal and orange that just like really add to it. and I think it ends up turning out so nice. And yeah, so here I am making like a little bar area. I actually didn't add a dining table. I put a little breakfast table off to the side of the island, but it only has 2 chairs at it. But I thought that your Sims can probably just sit at the big island and sit at the breakfast table, and that would be enough. I didn't think that a big dining table was necessary because by the time I thought of it, I had already made the living space and I didn't want to change it up at all because I was already in love with how it looked. But yeah, so the kitchen is coming together very nicely here. And to give you some background about the Sims that you saw in the beginning montage, that is a family that I created after I created this house. And so I created them with this house in mind, and I imagined that they are a blended family, and actually I made them. I used MC Command Center and I actually made them. I started out with the dad being married to another woman, and then he had the daughter with that woman, and then they got divorced, and he has custody of the daughter. The woman has a new boyfriend now, and then he got married to the mom that you see in the intro, who already had a teenage son. So they are a blended family. They are step siblings. I just thought that it was a nice, unique storyline to create because I always create happy families that are just, normal biological families. But I have a tendency to forget about families of divorced Sims or families that have like step parents and step siblings and everything like that, blended families. So I definitely wanted to give that a try. It's not actually how I grew up, so I guess it doesn't come to mind a lot, but I know it's a reality for a lot of people. And even though you can't really tell that they're a blended family from the intro, I just thought that I would add that into the storyline to make it a little bit more interesting and give the family a little bit of personality. I imagine that the son is very athletic. You saw him playing basketball and everything, and he wants to be a professional athlete. And then the little girl is very creative and just a goofball and all that kind of stuff. And I think that the teenage son gets very annoyed with her because I imagine that with the Jack and Jill bathroom and everything, I imagine that she goes into his room a lot and messes with his things, and he gets very annoyed with her. But yeah, I really love this family that I created. And the other Sims that you saw in the intro, there was a brunette woman and her husband, and I just imagine that those are some neighbors that they have over a lot. I wanted to have a few scenes in the intro of them entertaining guests in this home because I feel like this home is perfect for that. And especially the backyard area is just this perfect little oasis to have guests over. And they even have a bar built into their island, you can see right here. And I thought that looks so nice. It came with the Jungle Adventure pack, and it actually matches those counters that also came with the Jungle Adventure pack. So it all turned out looking very cohesive, and I just love the way that it looks with all the light woods and everything. But yeah, I thought that this house was like perfect for having guests over and entertaining them and everything. And it just has such a luxurious feel on the inside that I am obsessed with. I love the abstract paintings that are, the teal and orange and just like the pops of color, but mostly neutrals everywhere. I think that it just turns out looking so nice, and it would be so easy to play with your Sims in this house because it is all one story and it's just got a lot of things for them to do. There's quite a few skill building objects, I guess. There's the bar, there's bookshelves, so you can buy whatever skill building books you want from those. There is a soccer ball and a basketball hoop and also a bike, which I believe all 3 of those would further the athletic skill. And in the son's bedroom, there is a gaming console and a computer, which I locked for only him to be able to use because otherwise all the other Sims come into the room and they're always in his room. which is really annoying. But if you wanted to have another computer for like one of the parents or something, I would just suggest getting them a laptop and putting it in their inventory or keeping it at the island counter. I just didn't want to add a computer desk in anywhere here. I just didn't want to. I wanted it all to look very neat, and by the time I thought of it, I had already filled in all the spaces and I didn't want to move anything around because I liked the way that it looked so much. There's also a swimming pool, which would further the athletic skill. There is a swing set. I'm not sure if that actually does anything for a child's skills, but it's good for fun. And there's lots of things in the kids' room to get up their imagination skill and I believe their creativity. I also put a hamster cage, or actually it's a hedgehog cage in the little kids' room. And I just thought that was a cute little addition to the build because I think that the kid is actually very spoiled. Once you see me put their room together, you're gonna see that they have everything except for a craft table. I did want to put a craft table in, but I kind of ran out of space, so I just decided not to put one. But you could probably move the desk in the kids' room and add a craft table there instead, and it would be just as functional, if not more, because your kid doesn't really need a desk in their room. They can do their homework at the breakfast bar or whatever. But I just put it in there because I thought it was cute. It's like the little dog one that has the cute chair that comes with it and everything, and I just thought that it looked really adorable in there. But you could definitely switch it out for a craft table, and then you could make little drawings on it and hang them up in their room, and that would be super cute as well. And yeah, so here you just see me doing the entryway, and I think this turns out very nice. I didn't put too much out here. I just wanted it to look very clean and simple with just a little bit of artwork and that little vase that you see. And I do add a hamper between the teen and child's bedroom doors. Right here where you see me add that painting, I'm going to add a hamper below it. And now I'm finally adding windows to the rest of the build, so hopefully you weren't too concerned about that I only put windows in the front. I knew that I was going to add windows again like later on, but I wanted to kind of map out the inside of the house first and then go back to it, which is what I ended up doing, and I think that it worked out great. So here I am. I was going to make this room the son's room, so that's what I'm doing at first, and then I end up switching his room to be the one at the front of the house, and this becomes the little girl's room. So everything that I'm doing right now, I'm just going to end up undoing or moving over into the other room. But yeah, I ended up going with some dark carpet because I thought that it suited the modernness of this build. Modernness, is that a word? Anyways. Yeah, so I use these nice like heavy metal looking doors and the dark carpet and just the like, I forget what this wall is called. It's not paint. I think is it stucco? I'm not sure. I don't know. But I just thought that it looked really nice. It's the same stuff that's on the outside of the build. And I imagine it's kind of like a stone texture. But yeah, so I just used that on the inside too, and I think that it looks really nice. And now the son's room is coming together. I'm adding little sporting objects because, like I said, I imagine him being very athletic, but you can of course like always change out these rooms to suit whatever Sims you want to live here. The little girl's room could definitely have more than one bed in it if you took out some of the stuff that I put in there, so it could be like multiple children living in there, a toddler living in there. Doesn't have to be a boy or a girl. It could be anything. You could switch it all out. This is just what I imagined for the family that I created and for the story that I was telling with the intro montage and everything. But you can, sorry, there's a motorcycle going by that's very loud. Yeah, that's the problem with living in an apartment. But anyways, here I am just like putting posters and everything on the wall, trying to give it some personality, and yeah, I think that this room turns out really nice for the sim that I created it for. I don't add a gaming console in here at first, but I do end up going back and adding one. So if you download this from the gallery, there will be a gaming console there. And I also pull out a controller from the debug menu just for decoration that I put next to the console. And here I am creating that little Jack and Jill bathroom between the teens room and the kids room. I really like to create Jack and Jill bathrooms. You've probably noticed that by now with my builds, especially the family builds, because I just think it's such a cute concept to have like a little shared bathroom between the two. Although it would probably be very annoying because, like I've said in my other build, I have 4 siblings and we all had to like share one shower. There was one bathroom that had a shower in our whole house, and it just got very, very intense. Like we would be fighting over the shower every morning. But in this kind of build where the parents have their own shower, I don't think it would be that big of a deal. But the more bathrooms the better in The Sims, because it seems like the Sims constantly need to be in them, and if you only have one and you have like more than 2 Sims, that's like a huge problem, and your Sims needs are always down, and it's just very annoying. So yeah, I end up having 3 bathrooms total in here, like I said before. And yeah, so here we are just decorating the little girl's bedroom. I think it turns out so cute. It has this purple and pink and like light blue scheme going on. I end up deleting that toy box that you saw me place in the corner because I make a little makeshift tea party in the middle of the floor. I pull out a tea set from the decoration menu, and then I place some little toys around it and make it look like they're having a tea party. And I think that's such a cute idea. But I didn't want my Sims to put the toys away right when they move into the house, because I think that's really annoying, because sometimes you just want to use the toys as decorations. And so I end up deleting the toy box so that they won't put the toys away, and I figured it's fine if they're just like sitting around in the floor, because it adds to the decoration and the realism of the kids' room. So yeah, I'm gonna delete that in a second here. And I add those cute little cloud lights up above. Like I said, I think that this kid is very spoiled. They have so much stuff in this room. I actually ended up having to go back and nudge a few things around because when I was playtesting this house, she was not able to get to the bed. And then I moved the pillows, like the stack of pillows that serves as a chair. I just like move it over a little bit, and then she can get to the bed. But then she couldn't get to the dollhouse, so I had to move other stuff around, but it all ends up looking the same. It's like I only had to move it over just a slight bit. But yeah, so I made sure that it all became playable eventually. But yeah, the way that it is right here, she wasn't able to get to the bed. I had to move that stack of pillows over a little bit. Yeah, so there you see that cute little tea party. I use like some of the nifty knitting toys and all the stuff that came with that, and I think it looks so adorable. I wish your kid would actually like sit down and play with the tea set. I think that would be so cute, but it is just a decoration object, so your Sims can't really interact with it at all. There I am adding on the laundry room. It's a tiny laundry room. It just has the washer and dryer, and then I put a shelving unit above it just for decoration, but I didn't think it needed to be anything too fancy, especially because I added it on as a complete afterthought. And I end up like forgetting to put a roof on it during the speed build. I end up adding one after the speed build, but you'll notice later on when I'm making I think it's called a pergola outside. Yeah, it doesn't have a roof over the top of it, but I end up adding one. So if you download it from the gallery, it will have a roof over the laundry room. Don't worry. And yeah, so I am making the parents' bedroom right now, and adding a little ensuite onto here, and I think it turns out looking really nice. I think it's pretty realistic to have the little tiny hallway right when you walk in, and then the bathroom off to the side. That's actually how my boyfriend's master bedroom is in his house, and I guess I was inspired a little bit by that because I added the ensuite as an afterthought as well. Because I just thought that the parents definitely needed their own. What are they gonna do? Go over to the Jack and Jill bathroom to take a shower every night? No. So yeah, that is me making that bathroom. I probably should have cut it out because bathrooms are just really boring to watch people make, I think. But I just left it in because I usually end up cutting them out. So I just decided to leave them in for this one time. But yeah, so you just saw me go back and add toothbrushes and hand soap to this bathroom and the other bathrooms because I forgot to put it in them until I remembered to add it into this one. And that's like a common theme during my builds is I'll remember something while I'm doing it and then I'll have to go back and do it for all the other rooms. I don't know, that's just the way that I build. I don't really mind it, but I'm sure it gets a little bit confusing when you're watching the speed build anyways. So there I am adding that console to the son's room. I like his room a lot. I think it's like the right amount of messy for a teenage boy, but not like disgusting, just like a little bit cluttered. Like he doesn't have the time to really like clean up all that paper mess on the floor. That paper mess is kind of funny to me because when I was in like the 5th grade, I was the most disorganized child ever, and I had papers sitting around everywhere, like in my locker. Like every time I opened my locker at school, papers would just spill out onto the floor. They were all over my bedroom. I never threw any papers away, but I could also never find any papers that I needed. I was like chaotic in 5th grade. So that's kind of what it reminds me of every time I see that kids clutter mess. But right now we are making our little outdoor oasis area, and I think this turns out so cute, and I would love to have a little sunken in area like this on my house. I think that it's like the cutest little patio. It's got a little grill area. It's perfect for entertaining. I end up adding a pool off the edge of the deck, and then I add a bar next to the pool. So your Sims pretty much have everything that they need out there. There's also a drink platter. I don't know if you can see it on top of that square poof. So your Sim can just pour drinks and you can just sit there and I'll take the drinks off of the platter, or you can go over to the bar that I end up putting by the pool and you can like make drinks there. So there are plenty of places to have drinks in this build. There's like 3 different areas to have drinks. There's the one in the kitchen, there's the drink platter, and then there's the other bar that's outside. And there I am making that little pergola area that I talked about before. I think that's the word for it. A pergola? Is that what it is? I don't know. But yeah, so I just think that this looks really cute. I love the way that the shadows actually show the shape of it above, like when the sun is shining down. I think that that looks so nice and cute. And yeah, so I am adding, oh, I guess I skipped it, but I did add a little waterfall over in that sunken area, which you can see. And I add a rug in front of the grill and lights around the landscaping and everything like that. And now I am adding, I guess there is a dining table in this build because there's a dining table outside, but yeah, there's not one in the house. But outside works too, I guess. I mean, it's in Del Sol Valley, so how much weather are you really gonna get? It's just really dry all the time, isn't it? Like super dry and hot. And I added a little ceiling fan above the dining table, and I didn't actually know that the ceiling fans in this are functional until I clicked on it and it said turn on, and I was like, wait, what? So I turned it on and it actually spins around and works as like an actual ceiling fan, which I think is really cool, and I can't believe that I never knew that before. But now that I know that, I'm probably going to add it to a lot of builds because ceiling fans are just something that you see in a lot of houses, and I like to make my builds pretty realistic. And yeah, so now we are just making that adorable little pool area, and I end up adding a little floaty into it, and now you are going to see me create the bar area. And I also placed a swing set off to the side by that tree that you can see over there. So yeah, there are plenty of activities for your Sims to do in this house. I'm obsessed with it. I want to live here. I think that it is so nice, and I love that it's in Del Sol Valley because I think that this home style really makes sense here. It kind of reminds me of California or Nevada. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this build. It really means a lot. If you want to download it from the gallery, my ID is in the video description, and we are about to come up on the screenshots. So thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye!
Lately nothing goes in my direction. Lately nothing's coming my way. Keep drowning every bit of my devotion, sinking deeper every day. And lately I am missing my reflection in every muddy puddle on the pavement, driving every thought into distortion. But I will get it up, work even harder. My mama used to say that it's the way it goes. Feeling's gonna make me smarter, and to reach